stunk. Maybe the extra furlong, extra furlong and a half just got to him. You know what? He's an $80,000 yearling. I just think these are the kind. Chad's got these otherworldly numbers with his drop downs, 11 for 23.
I was driving up here last night at 1 in the morning. How much rain did we get?
It was a minimal amount, and it's warm today. It's humid. I think it's going to dry up a bit.
Because I wonder if the given the ground got to this horse a little bit, the distance and that, because they had a lot of rain that entire week.
That's fair.
So I'm wondering if it was the given the ground.
That's fair.
Combined with the extra 3/16 of a mile. Now he cuts back to the mile and 16th.
We listed these courses as firm throughout the week last week, and I was doing the track trends. They were not the firm you've ever seen in the summer in Saratoga.
No.
The inner was never firm. That was yielding to good.
Right. We always talked about this, though, how we're in the day and age where we probably need more than 4 classifications for turf courses.
I've gone on this
You've been
rant
talking about that for 10 years.
For years. We have to stop. We have to get away from, because we label it firm 85% of the time,
Right.
and it can't be the same
But
firm
if you
85%.
Look, if you do watch, and I watched some of the replays.
They weren't chopping it up that much.
There wasn't a lot of kickback.
But there was give.
But there was some give because you saw minimal kickback. So there have been summers up here where there's nothing, right? You just see especially when they go to the lead.
Yet before it rained, there was, I think a week ago Sunday, we hadn't got rain, and there were pancakes flying up on the turf course in the turn like unbelievably.
So, yeah.
Anyway, should we take a break? No, after 6.
No, after 6.
Okay, so race 6 was the biggest scratch of the day, with the number 7 eloquent speaker coming out.
Did you pick her as well or no?
We picked the same horse in this race?
Yeah. Well, I picked eloquent speaker, and now I found
Well, why do you like this
the
horse?
Same one. You know, when she runs in spots, when she runs in spots,
I'm shocked
she belongs.
You like this horse.
When she runs in spots, she belongs, Andy. I think
I agree.
She competes with these
She's
horses.
a sprinter.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go long.
She doesn't want to go long.
She shouldn't even really be going a mile, even though she ran okay 2 back. I think she's better, shorter. She's second off a layoff. And frankly, I don't like anybody else in this race. I've had enough of she's a super freak. She's the horse to beat, I guess, but I've got her second.
And I kind of like, Pat Kelly does not have a lot of horses. Pat Kelly is an excellent horseman.
Saddled a Grade 1 winner this year.
I love.
You know that?
Oh,
He's a much better trainer than the actual trainer of this Grade 1 winner. He saddled No Parole for Tom Amos. And I got to think that, that's probably the reason that No Parole won the Woody Stevens, is that Pat Kelly, and the fact that Tom Amos wasn't there.
What was it with Serengeti Empress then? Tom.
I'm thinking that Pat probably did the work for him, and Tom pretended and took all the credit. What do you think?
Anyway, Pat knows this filly doesn't want to go long.
I should have Tom on Talking Horses one day, by the way. That would be historic, wouldn't it?
I love the fact that he ran her a mile and a 16th last time, because you can train a horse all you want.
Who?
Nothing. Fight on Lucy.
Mile and 8th.
A mile. That's what I said. Mile and 16th. Mile and 8th, because nothing
she
gets
chased
a horse
the pace
fitter
too.
Than racing.
You and I like her. She's got no shot. She has no shot.
She was originally my second pick.
I like
put Eloquent
7-4
Speaker on top. Yeah.
I agree. I'm not taking. She's a super freak.
No.
And obviously the morning line is completely meaningless because of 3 to 5. I don't know what price did David have that? 4 to 5 in the morning line. So every horse is less than half the price.
Yeah, right,
so Fight on Lucy is 6 or 8. So cut them in half. Pay no attention to the morning line.
I think she still has to be 10 to 1 in here.
No. I don't think she's that big a price. I think she's in the 6 to 1 range. 6 to 8.
Lunch?
You think 10 to 1?
Yeah.
Okay. 10-0-0, you win. 58 lunches.
Yep. I just don't see where the money. I just don't see her taking
990 or below. I win.
Yep.
Okay. I hope you're right. I hope you win. I'm betting her.
Me too.
We're going to take a quick break. Talking Horses presented by Saratoga Water. Coming back for the late pick 4 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Thanks for staying with us. Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. He's the big A, Anthony Stabile, fresh with his new haircut. I can see he's really feeling it. He's refreshed. He's ready. I'm Andy Serling, race number 7.
Do you think they missed us?
1 mile. I missed you. I can't speak for them missing us. This is a strange race. You like the first-time star, the number 2 Tackle, who has plenty of pedigree. Dam's getting old, though. She's 24.
So
she's had some recent runners okay, though.
Here was my logic. Imagine that. Here was my logic here. I think the horses that make the most sense, to me anyway, are stacked outside here.
And we'll get to them in a moment.
Yeah, Sandra the Great, Voliero, Microsecond to a lesser extent. I want a horse that is going to be able to save a little bit of ground at least. And you would think from post 2, and this horse, again, we've talked about this, these Belmont firsters that have shown bullets and shown some oomph, for the lack of a better term. It's Wednesday, my brain's not working. In the morning, these horses have been forward. These horses have put themselves in the races earlier, and I think you can take advantage of an inside draw in here and maybe use a little position early to work out a far better trip than the horses I think he needs to beat this afternoon. So I landed on Tackle.
It's a guess for the firster.
It is.
We'll see what price. 10-1 morning line. I don't think you're getting 10-1 if this horse is live. I think you're getting a bigger price. The horse is probably just sort of dead in the board because I don't disagree. I'm going to use that horse. Let's talk, before we talk about Jade's Dream, my pick, about some of the other players, including Sandra the Great. Sandra the Great, I do want to show the start of the last race, pan and head on, because I think it's important to show. This is the number 3 horse.
This is his turf race, by the way, not his last race.
It's not in the chart. I'm not sure why, but this horse does not break.
Nope.
And you can see broke over a length slow and has been back in the field. Now, this was a 1.25 mile race. Now the horse is saddled all the way on the outside, but, you know, sort of half a stumble and bobble.
He just doesn't leave out of the gate. Yeah.
In reality, that was a much better field. He didn't run well, but he didn't run that badly. But now he's got post 12 at a 1.25 miles. He was a bit sluggish. Even if you count the break, he still was a bit sluggish. So unless you think that break just knocked him out of the race, which is actually possible, post 12, likely short price, I can't take this horse.
That's the problem, right? You can say, okay, because we both caught the break. Let's say the break cost him a length. If the break cost him a length that time, all right, he's a little closer. Now, at the very least, if he is a little closer like he was in the off the turf race last time, and he's inside, all right, he'll save some ground. He won't lose that much ground. Now, he's out in Pocolodi. Where's he going to go?
He's slow. This is going to take a Herculean effort by Joel
and this
to get this horse in a position.
This has Joel taking this horse back and trying to save ground.
Where's he going to go with him?
And now you're leaving yourself with 10, 12, 15 lengths.
It helps that potentially Microsecond has speed and South Africa have speed, so maybe they run away a little bit and it makes it easier, but it's not going to be easy. And, you know, unless the field stretches out and the pace is fast, which doesn't happen too often, it's tough to project a good trip for this horse. And at a short price, if he gets it and he beats you, so be it. The 7 Scuttle Buzz, now, we'll show you the replay of his turf race because he ran very, very well. We'll show you the start. He's the number 10, and he should have won this race. But he blew the break, and Jonathan Thomas, show you the stat, is very good stretching out. This horse was much the best. The problem is Jonathan Thomas is really on a bad run so far. I still am afraid of this horse, Anthony.
Yeah, I understand it, but you know what bothers me a little bit about him too? And I don't. The last race bothered me a little bit, the off-the-turf race, because he looked like he was struggling with distance in his 2 dirt races. Really,
We're not going to show the last quarter of his last race? Oh, what happened, Steve? They're withholding information from Steve in the truck. Don't be sorry. You're doing fine.
In any event, his first 2 dirt races, he ran well. First time at a huge price. Second time, he kind of lost all chance at the start.
And he ran very well in his turf race.
He did. The problem with me was last time he really seemed to struggle midway down the back.
Nah, he's not a dirt horse.
Okay.
He's not.
I'm going to use him too, but the first dirt race and then the excuse in the second dirt race, which I thought were both okay, combined with his, he just looked like he got tired going down the backstretch last time. I worry about that. He ran this horse in 3 sprints to start things off.
And my friend Steve just made a good point. It's a horse that's had trouble at the gate in all of his starts, which is never a particularly helpful situation. As far as Jade's Dream, Jade's Dream's a Drosselmeyer, so it's not exactly a screaming turf sire.
Right.
Having said that, she's a half to 2, or he is a half to 2 turf winners out of 6 to try it. And 4 of them could run a little bit.
Go Get the Basil was one of them, right? He wound up becoming a jumper.
He did. And this is a horse that ran a huge race 2 back. Better than any horse in this race is capable of running.
This horse was giant 2 starts back.
And did not run well last time. Did not run well. But 2 back ran very well. So maybe he just didn't run as well second off a layoff. It was off a long layoff. Now he draws the rail. He has speed to be forward in here. He's got enough pedigree to handle it. He's going to be a big price. And I thought he was worth taking a small shot with. I'm not in love with this horse, but I thought he was a little bit interesting to take a shot with at a price.
This was the kind of race where I thought you could get a little creative because it appears the horses that have the best turf form are saddled with bad posts.
What if Just in Time for Wine needs the blinkers off move for Amira Shikakli? That horse has got turf races that are fast enough to win this race. Second off a layoff, ran off last time.
Horse has turf races that'll bury these horses.
Unless some of the new, well, there are new faces that could run, but no, I'm just pointing it out. There's a lot going on in this race. Don't just assume the 12's going to win at a short price from that post at a mile.
If the 12 was the 2, I can completely understand you feeling that way. He's just going to break bad, lay up, get a good trip, and win. From post 12, it's a completely
There's too many variables. You're going to use him in multis, but he's not. You're supposed to go a different. I'll tell you something about race number 8. First of all, there's 2 major upsets. You didn't pick Forza Dioro. Even David Aragon and I were talking, and he said to me, "I can't believe Anthony didn't pick Forza Dioro." And I said, "You're shocked." I couldn't believe it. But Mike Beer picked him. So to my good friend Mike Beer, good scratch. When you don't pick a Bill Mott horse, this race is so hard. And I think there's a couple of schools of thought here. The older horses, the claiming types, Lil Commissioner, there's a chance that Lil Commissioner, you and I have third. Where do you have him? Third?
Yeah.
He might just be better than these horses because this race here, and this is an ex-George Navarro that ran, and Rob Atras horse, he had that big winner in the first race on Sunday. He's a streak like a lot of trainers. When he's going good, his horses are running well. This horse ran against George. You and I don't trust him, but this horse might just be better than these horses. Is that fair?
And he may get, see what Live Your Beast Life's going to do. I would assume Manny Franco's going to put him on the lead. See what's what Trader goes. I mean, Low Commissioner could just lay up off these horses and just work out the right trip. He's, like you said, he's an older horse. He's accomplished. He's won a handful of races, 6 races in his career. Yeah, he might. And you know what? David's right.
It's going to be 5-2.
You think so?
He's going to be favored.
You think he's going to be the favorite in here?
He should be favored, Anthony. Shouldn't he?
I'm not saying he shouldn't because he absolutely
Who's going to be favored if not him?
I wouldn't be surprised if Candy Tycoon was favored because if you take the stakes races off his card, I think people will make a case Todd's having a good meet.
I don't like this horse. I'm not saying he can't win because I think anybody 3 on down can win this race.
Right.
Listen, I'm not Anthony. I agonized over this race. This race. I must have gone through this race for days before I finally went. As far as Singapore Trader, I'd like to see Ricardo be aggressive with this horse because he is very fast early. You have to agree, Anthony. This is the worst speed I took all meet. Cost me a fortune to pick 4. This horse's last race for Rachel DeBaz. Rachel DeBaz has not run a horse for about a week or so since that horse ran badly.
Only one's been off the board.
Been waiting.
You know what the funny thing is? The 4 to 5
the only one that couldn't lose on paper.
The board. Everything else is first, second, or third.
Anthony, this horse ran giant here.
Giant race.
I know this is not an easy race, but I'm going to tell you something. This horse last race, and I don't know if he's going to be 5-1. I could see him higher in this race.
Listen, you're right. I'll have a ticket where I have all except the 1.
These are the 1 wins. You have to.
One wins.
It's a little tough to like.
1 wins.
Right.
Anyway, you can make a case for the rest of them.
Talk about Live Your Beast Life, because you actually said to me last time, and I rolled my eyes at you, I think he has a shot to get a piece. He ran very well.
You want to talk about a barn that's going well, too. Everything Jorge Abreu is putting on the racetrack is showing up and running their races.
I put his replay up because I knew you'd pick him.
This horse from under the gun, from the rail last time, just fighting every step of the way. Creed's a horse that's going to pick him up here late in the game. Shug's talking about running him into Jim Dandy and maybe the Preakness. Chad's horse didn't come back and run well.
Chad's horse was awful.
That
doesn't worry you that Chad's horse was as bad as he was the next time?
It was, but I think Chad's horse might want to go longer and not want to sprint.
I
know, but
he won a sprint in his first start. He was awful. I mean, I hear you, but
he won a sprint in his first start, but he kind of picked those horses. I don't think he wants to be under the gun.
You can't argue that as badly as Mr. Winston ran, you have to be a little worried about this race.
I know. I'm a little worried about him. I also think he's going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit because whereas some of the others have multiple races, you're only betting him off his last race. This is a bad line.
It's hard to see him the same price as Candy Tycoon. Right? My problem with Candy Tycoon, I tell you, I like the other Todd Pletcher horse more. And
The other
Righteous
top
got an
horse is
absolutely
very
ridiculous
interesting in here.
ride in the Ohio Derby.
He's very interesting in here.
Yeah,
he got
Todd's
a weird ride
treated
in
him like
Ohio
a good
Derby.
horse. And I'm
Todd's
just
treating him. That's exactly right.
And I'm just sick of Candy Tycoon. I get it.
Okay.
But when he got second two back, Johnny gave him a perfect ride. He got a perfect trip. And I know Rushy's okay, but didn't he just get second by default in there?
Yeah, but I can also see him. There's a scenario in here where
he gets the right
he
trip.
takes a little bit of a step forward. He takes the right trip. That's why I put him second, because he probably, of this bunch, him and Righteous probably have the most blue sky ahead of them. I should have probably been 3,
I prefer
7,
Unrighteous
5,
at a better
4.
price, though. I just prefer Unrighteous at a better price. And listen, I'm not going to be surprised when Candy Tycoon wins this race, but when you think six players can all win, you've got to leave some horses out. That's just the way it goes.
It's fun. I left the 2 horses out that you put 1, 2.
Well,
and that was not by design.
Are you so sure that Hunt the Front can't win? And are you? I'm going to tell you something else. He was on the rail last time. I'm not sure that's the place to be last time at Keeneland.
No. I mean, he ran him in,
race was dominating the front end, 2 back at Churchill.
Skydiver, so I mean,
And they could move a little up front here. This could get a little interesting. Yeah, he's a good complement to my 8 horse, who's a forward horse.
No question. Listen, I'm using 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't care. Call me a coward, whatever you want to call me. I'm using all of them.
You're no coward, Anthony.
I couldn't figure.
This is a fascinating race.
I thought Olivia Beast's life would be a little bit of a better price.
Here's what I'm going to say about this race. Use the ones that are good prices.
Yeah.
Because this is a wide open, at least to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
It's a fun race.
Speaking of wide open races, the Adirondack. We're going to show my favorite Adirondack on the show today. You know what my favorite Adirondack is?
I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, My Miss Aurelia and A Million Reasons Why. They threw down in that Adirondack,
11?
I think 2011. They threw down like a Firmden Alley in that race.
Now that you say that
was a fast race. I think it got like a 90 or 87. Man, I always liked that Sagamore horse, A Million Reasons Why. She had an incident the next year, unfortunately, and I think Nacho trained her.
Nacho had her, yeah.
Yeah, and she ran better than I thought My Miss Aurelia that day. Anyhow, Anthony, I don't like anybody in this race, and we'll start with Make Mischief. We'll show her breaking her maiden. I mean, this was a woefully slow race. She obviously ran faster than Schuylerville. But, Anthony, I don't think you wanted to say it the other day. It's very tough to take a Cassie horse on top. And listen, Papa Chalk ran fine the other day. She really did. But
Papa Chalk ran better than I thought she would run the other day.
Not that I thought,
not
but
that you did,
better.
No.
But I mean, they're just going bad. And I'm sorry, and I'm not. I like Mark a lot. I'm not, but. I mean, I'm sure they're saying the same thing.
And
how can you take a short price?
It's going to change.
Yeah.
The guy's in the Hall of Fame. Well, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame. He hasn't been in.
Right. He hasn't been inducted yet. It's going to change.
And Jamie, bad behavior on Twitter or not, he does do a good job with the horses. So I think things are going to change.
It's going to change. Jamie does a great job. Takes good care of those horses. It's going to change. And I look forward to it changing for the barn and for everybody working their tails off over there. It's not going to change on my watch at 7 o'clock.
We're not trying to beat them up, but I mean,
in a race where they all kind of look the same.
I don't think a barn that's going poorly is going to disagree.
You can't. How can? There's
They're
no
probably
argument.
running the horses and going, "What's going to happen today?" But then
Exactly
it changes,
right.
and they win 4 races out of their next 6, and they have too many good horses, and they do a good job. So I just can't take that horse on top. And then there's the 4 Thoughtful you've got on top. I'm going to tell you something. I don't think this horse is that good. Second horse came back, got beaten 9 lengths, ran 3 buyer points worse than the next start. The third horse broke the same figure. I just think this was a bad race. I know she won easy. I just think it was a bad race.
You might be right.
She might win. I'm not.
Ricardo looked between his legs 3 times, which has to lead me to believe she's just well within herself at this point. And
that's a bad race.
She wins by daylight. Yeah, but Andy,
you want her
just
at a
said
short
you don't
price.
really like anybody in here, right? You just said it.
I don't want her. I can't pick her. I couldn't bring myself to pick her. I couldn't. I don't like that race she comes out of. I don't like it. I think she may have just beaten a bad field. I know they paid almost $1 million for her. She's going to likely improve. I'm not. You know, the Asmussen stat, he's won with a couple of these second-time starters, and usually they don't, so they seem to be winning lately.
The horse that won the Saratoga Special the other day.
That horse, a very good horse.
So I'm trying to say, like, if she...
But she's not in his league.
It's also fillies and colts.
So what? Fillies this time are often as fast as the boys.
If she takes her step forward in here.
I know.
These horses are in a lot of trouble today.
No. She
ran if she takes a step
she
forward.
ran a 64 buyer. Make Mischief ran a 70 buyer. I don't know. I'm not. I just don't want her at a short price. I just don't. And
Okay.
Lucifer's Lair. The best thing Lucifer's Lair has going for it, we'll take a look at her, is Todd. Not only is he having good meat, man, this was
Right, it's Todd.
this was a not a field that I'm running to the window to bet on horses going forward off of it. Are you? That
No,
race was
sir.
slow with a capital S. The 2-year-old fillies, we've seen some fast boys. Most of the 2-year-old fillies we've seen have not been fast, Anthony. I don't want to
Yeah.
be too hard on
No.
them, but
I mean, you don't really want to, right? I mean, yeah, Rod took a look to the tote. He grabbed it the last 50 yards and stuff, and she drew away nicely. But do we really have any confidence in what she was drawing away from?
no.
You know, and there's a difference between how she's drawing away and how Steve's filly was drawing away. Steve's filly's
She won pretty
bounding
easy, too, though.
She did, but
won
Steve's
pretty
filly's
easy.
bounding away under a long rein. Ricardo's looking around.
Oh,
This filly's
eye test. No, I listen. All of these horses can win. I'm not
whole
against
field can
all of
win.
them. I just don't want to take them at short prices. And with Lilac Lace, I didn't bring a replay up because I couldn't really imagine when I sent him in that I was necessarily going to pick her. These are not my kind of horses. And of
And
course,
this is like the anti-Andy, this horse.
I know, but this horse is going to be a very big price in here. I don't think she'll be 6-1. See, I think there's going to be. I think she could just drift any price, and maybe she should. I look at her pedigree, and it's really dirt or turf. It's not tilted towards turf at all. And the turf equal dirt for the one foal. And it's almost like they just ran her at Keeneland for whatever reason. I don't know that they had a preference. And listen, maybe she ran okay on the turf. Anthony, did you watch her race at Keeneland? Go watch the replay.
This was closing day. The
Watch
first race on
the
closing day.
replay of this horse's race at
Okay.
Keeneland. This horse ran.
She was flying.
This horse ran. This horse, she ran. And I like the fact that she was closing and doing all those things. The others are forward horses. I just don't like the others. And if she can handle the dirt, she's could be as good, if not better, than any of these horses. And she's going to be a price. And it's just, the game has changed so much, Anthony. Turf first out, and they end up being dirt horse. You know, it used to be a horse like this would never win. That's changed, right? Isn't that one of the fundamental changes of the game?
You know what the most amazing thing is? Yes, wasn't the course labeled good on the same day for Chad's maiden earlier in the card? And it was labeled
You
firm
make a
then?
great point. It may have rained, though.
On closing day?
It may have rained.
Maybe.
But that's good. That's an interesting point. Wow, you are.
Maybe.
Race number 10. Anthony hadn't left the reservation the entire day.
What'd I do?
You are such a sucker for these Dave Donk horses that have run on the turf. And you know how many of these horses you pick? You might not even, this is like a subconscious thing. You love these. Do they ever win? You love these. And the problem with this horse is, I don't know you're getting 8-1. This horse may be bet off the 53 buyer, which is faster than any fig anybody in this race has run recently.
That was the first thing.
But that's a turf race, and that's a meaningless, she didn't run a step. All right, listen, have at it. She's 8-1 morning line. But you do love these Donk turf horses.
I do. You're right. I fall for them. I do. He put a Red Ortiz Jr. on this horse first time out. Stretched out. These are both turf races. Stretched out, plinkers. She showed speed. Now she cuts back. He gets Jose Ortiz. Drops in for the quarter.
Good luck. Good luck.
Where am I going to go?
The Dam ran Charlestown, in case you're wondering. 30 buyers. Deeply analytical. I'm going to go out on a limb. Say this will be the most expensive Majestic City ever. I'm just going to lay it all out there.
Wow.
This is 100 and...
You call this guy a friend?
Am I wrong? No. Well,
I was going to let it go.
Harvard Stables, I think, has set a record for the most expensive. Listen, they also won Grade 1 with an Adios Charlie, right?
Two McLean's Musics.
McLean, they won the Preakness and the...
and the Champagne.
And the Champagne, right, with Complexity. So, I mean, right, so...
Another McLean's Music.
Not like that doesn't
another
work.
McLean's Music won the other day, and I was like, wait, Chad don't claim.
I'll say one thing about Deeply Analytical. They better get tied on. They want to run with him because she is fast.
She does have, it's 11 months. It's almost a year, and she does have to go the 6.5. That half a furlong always bugs me off these long layoffs. But Georgie's points going so well.
How about 5 for 13 and DQ'd out of a win? And justified DQ,
listen, I'm
but
not gonna
ours
argue
was much
with
the
the-
best.
I'm not gonna argue
I mean,
with
this
the
guy,
barn.
he's having a tremendous
not
meeting. If people
arguing.
aren't noticing the job George Abreu's doing,
I'm not arguing with this barn. No, absolutely not. I just took a little bit of a shot because of the long layoff. And if it was 6, I probably would have picked this horse.
You got to think.
But I also can't help the donk thing.
You got to love that Alan. You can't. It's a subliminal thing for you. You see donk with these turf horses. I noticed that. I said, this is not like the first time Anthony's done this. Alan Brodsky, who owns a lot of horses and knows what aggravation is, also plays poker. This is a great degenerate gambler name, right? Aggravation.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if there's a different story.
This
but
horse can obviously win. Meb's Web was kind of against it last time, right?
The speed and rail may have been good on July 4th, and this horse was wide on the turn last time. Not a good field, but awful long layoff. And I thought aggravation was a little bit interesting as well.
Meb's Web's when the rail got good from the 13 hole last time.
Yep.
Right, the winner followed the speed up the rail.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, I'm going to use that horse.
We're making cases. There's a rider change, by the way. Louis Cardenas, hope Louis gets better soon. Mild concussion. He's going to be out a bit for the spill on Sunday. Hope Louis gets better. Louis Saez is going to ride the one crick in here.
Bob Dunham.
Yeah, Bob Dunham. Always root for Bob.
Yeah,
always root
like
for
Bob.
I know Bob since I'm a kid.
See Bob at Aqueduct all the time.
All the time.
Anyhow, thank you, Anthony. See you again tomorrow.
Mañana.
Head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code SPA, and we will match up to $200 of your initial deposit. Become a member of Naira Bets. Enjoy the many great things it has to offer, like the Sunday contests. We'll seed them every Sunday, $200, $500, $250 buy-in. Great contest. It's tragic I can't play. Also, Sarah Live, all day, every day. 1 to 6 today. I think we're MSG Plus from 1 to 6, FS2 2 to 6, I believe. You can all find out on Naira.com/Sarah Live. Also the Naira YouTube channel, always available on that if you can't watch on TV. Anthony, once again, thank you. Let's head upstairs to the special guest.
He's here.
Announcer today, our good friend, a fine man, the great mirror man, Frank Miramati.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. The track is fast, the turf firm. Here are today's changes. In today's first, scratch number 1, Mark On. Overweight number 1A, Global Freedom, 4 pounds over. The early pick 5 will start with today's second race. No changes in race 2. In the third, numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 10 will each carry 1 pound over. Number 7, Money in the Bank, races with no whip. Scratch 8, Lord Camden. Scratch 9, Otter. Out of today's third, which is the beginning of the early pick 4. In the fourth, number 4, Dirty Bird, will be ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. Kendrick Carmouche rides 4, Dirty Bird. Waive the apprentice allowance to weight 124 pounds. In the fifth, scratch number 1, Chocolate Bar, which is part of the entry. And then the rest of the runners, 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, each carry 2 over. The Empire 6 starts with today's 5th race. The late pick 5 begins with the 6th. Scratch number 7, Eloquent Speaker. Number 7, Eloquent Speaker, scratched out of the 6th. In the 7th, numbers 1 through 12 will each carry 2 pounds over. Scratch 13 and 14, make mo time and quick return. 13 and 14 are out of the 7th, beginning of the late pick 4. In the 8th, number 1, My First Grammy, the jockey Relu Gutierrez. Corrected weight 118 pounds and then 2 over. Number 1, My First Grammy, should also be listed as a Ridgeling. Scratch number 2, Forza de Oro. Number 2, Forza de